Welcome back to AP World History. We'll be looking at Chapter 8, the spread of Islamic faith in Africa. This shows sort of a timeline in terms of the connection between the Middle East and Northern Africa and Central Africa and the spread of Islamic faith. African societies certainly were diverse and are diverse. Um, there are also some similarities in their languages, customs, and religions. Uh, in sub-Sahara Africa, roughly between 800 and 1500 CE, there will be continued contact with the outside world. Followers of Muhammad spread Islam to Western and Central Africa through caravans and trade, also conquest of northern Africa. This new religion did not unite the African culture with the Middle Eastern core, but it did have an influence on what they did believe. Sub-Sahara Africa culture embraced much of Islamic achievements in economics, politics, and science, so they're going to export their culture, and it will be embraced by Africans. Caravans done by camels across the trade routes from the Middle East to Central and Northern Africa. Ghana is the first kingdom that will develop in 800 CE. Their primary exports will be gold, ivory, salt, and also slaves. Trans-Sahara trade routes, you could see where the camel routes were located, seem to line up with oases, water holes coming from the Middle East to this area. The Great Sahara Desert in the northern part of Africa, very inhospitable. But the Sahara or the sub-Sahara area is going to be a grassland which is inhabited. This shows the Ghana Empire in 800 CE. Mali and Songhai became an important trading partner in the Middle East, along with Ghana. Although Islam and Christianity were imported, important to aspects of African history, the area still is somewhat isolated from the rest of the world. Places like Mali and Songhai were powerful states in the sub-Saharan Africa when the Islamic faith was blossoming there. Here, the camel caravans connecting the Middle East to Central and Northern Africa. The Mali Empire here will develop after the Ghana, and Jenne and Goa will be, and Timbuktu will be some of the important communities along the Niger River. The Songhai dynasty will develop in 1500 CE, and it will be heavily influenced by Islam. Many of the areas in the sub-Saharan Africa developed into stateless societies. Much like the Bedouins in the Arabian Peninsula, you belong to tribes and clans. There was no need really for taxes. By nobles or rulers, because its communities were built around family organizations. The primary language of the area is Bantu in the sub-Saharan Africa, and it allowed the folks in this area to exchange ideas and customs. Before Christianity and Islam, amethytic religions, that is, they worshipped different natural forces. They believed that there were evil spirits, in various things. They offered sacrifices, essentially worshiping sticks and stones. They believed that disease and illness were produced by witchcraft, and each tribe had its own witch doctor to fight these evil spirits. Here's some of the witch doctors in a traditional dress. Many of the Africans believed their ancestors had important links to the spiritual world, so they will venerate, they will worship their ancestors, and gods were part of the worship system. Some of the African tribes did resist Christianity and Islam because they had these long-held practices of looking to their ancestors and looking to different spirits and worshiping different idols. The arrival of Islam in North Africa, before the Islamic faith was introduced there, the Phoenicians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Vandals also had limited contact with some of these tribes in these areas. Towards the end of the Roman Empire, Christianity had taken hold of some of the areas in northern Africa, but there will be battles fought between the Vandals and the Byzantines, and this will be an area where there's a lot of political turmoil. And eventually, when Islam gets rooted in the Middle East, it will sweep across northern Africa, and that will become the dominant religion. The Berber people of the Sahara land frequently raided coastal cities, and they established ties to the Middle East. From 640 to 700 CE, the followers of Muhammad swept across northern Africa and using the sword to subdue Egypt all the way to Morocco. Tunisia, Africa, what the Romans called Africa, is going to come under the Muslim domination in 670 CE. By 711 CE, Arab and Berber armies had crossed into Spain, up the Iberian Peninsula. Charles Martel of France stopped the Muslims at Poitiers in 732 CE. So they're turned back. If they hadn't, maybe all of Western Europe would have become Islamic. Northern Africa proves to be a fertile ground for Islamic religion. There will be various reform groups that launch jihads or holy wars to preserve and protect Islam in northern Africa. The Mu'adids were one of these reform groups, and the Moravids were another group. Christianity does take root in Nubia or Kush in Ethiopia, and this is going to be around the 4th century CE. You have Coptic Christians in Egypt, which have a strong connection to the Byzantine Empire, but later they will sort of be swept aside in this area. Nubia became a stronghold for Christianity in the Upper Nile. So you have Christianity and Islam, but Islam seems to be embraced more readily than Christianity at this time. This is Nubia or Kush, and you can see the Arabian Peninsula close by. The maximum extent of the Kush in 700 BC, and then they will be pushed aside by Islamic religion. Another Christian outpost was Ethiopia, the kingdom located on the East African bordering the Red Sea. The Ethiopian kingdom would have a continued struggle with Somalia, its neighboring country to the south. The kingdoms of the grassland, the savanna. This is what these called the African middle part of Africa. Sahel is the extensive grassland belt at the southern edge of the Sahara Desert being inhospitable. Very few people living there except Bedouins living around oases and being herdsmen and camel traders. Of course, we talked about Ghana existing around 300 CE to about 1000 CE, and that it'll be replaced by other kingdoms. This is the ancient kingdom of Ghana. Not a lot of contact with the outside world, but it will trade salt, which is a very important commodity, gold, and slaves to the Mediterranean area and on to the Middle East. By the 10th century, the rulers had converted to Islam, and again at 1076 CE, the Almoravid armies invade Ghana from North Africa, and the kingdom survived but was severely weakened. In the 13th century, the leading role was replaced. Ghana is going to be replaced by Mali and Songhai, and these are going to be Islamic kingdoms. This shows a picture of Africa and the different bands of, if you look back here, the continent of Africa. You can see the rainforest, the savanna, the light brown area being the desert, pretty inhospitable. Mali will break away from Ghana and was the creation of the Maliki people. The new rulers support Islam. They stress obedience to the king. The kingdom was based on agriculture and trade. An important city is going to be Timbuktu for study and for commerce. And we'll stop here and pick this up next time on part 2.